Time now for our business updates, and Yuka Roya is here with me. Now let's start with the markets. What are the trends like on the final day of trading?
Well, Julia, the US dollar has weakened against other major currencies because of lingering concern over a government shutdown in the US, despite that stopgap measure. Oil prices have also dropped following an uptick in US production. Here in Europe, trading got underway just a short while ago. A mixed picture there, as you can see. Oh, it's all in the green at the open there. Airbus shares in focus as it plans to help Qantas Airways launch direct flights between Australia and continental Europe. Earlier, Asian stocks mostly advanced their gains, with the Shanghai market ending at a fresh two-year high.
Now moving on to some corporate news now. Donald Trump's tax reforms have lowered the corporate tax rate. But unfortunately, the measures have actually caused losses to some large companies.
At least temporarily. Credit company American Express has posted its first quarterly loss in 26 years to the tune of $1.2 billion. Amex says it had $2.6 billion in charges, mostly tied to profits it had earned abroad and was now moving back to the US. Other large firms have also taken on massive one-time charges. Lauren Bestesher explains why this is happening, despite Trump's reforms lowering the corporate tax rate.
Donald Trump's tax overhaul was supposed to help big businesses, but it may be a while before the results begin to show. Many banks and companies are reporting multi-billion-dollar charges in the fourth quarter of 2017. The main culprit for financial institutions, a concept known as deferred tax assets. During the 2008 financial crisis, many U.S. banks lost billions of dollars, but the country's tax law enabled them to convert these losses into credits called deferred tax assets, which can be used to lower future tax bills. But the value of these deferred assets is now dropping thanks to Trump's tax overhaul. A devaluation that has led many banks to report significant losses. Citigroup, which holds the largest deferred tax assets in the U.S., reported a $22 billion write-down in the fourth quarter. Yet despite the short-term pain, companies are predicting the new law will lead to long-term gains, thanks to a 40% cut in corporate tax rates.
Some more of the day's business headlines for you now. And HSBC has agreed to pay more than $100 million to US authorities to settle a currency rigging case. The bank has admitted to cheating clients during foreign exchange transactions in 2010 and 2011. Prosecutors have said that HSBC traders manipulated the exchange rate to deliberately drive the price of the British pound in a direction that would benefit the bank and harm the clients. Google has agreed to a patent licensing deal with China's Tencent as it looks for ways to expand in a country where many of its products, such as App Store, search engine and email service, are blocked by regulators. Google says that the agreement also paves the way for collaboration and technology in the future. Financial terms of the deal have not been disclosed. A consumer group in South Korea has filed a criminal complaint against Apple's CEO Tim Cook over slower iPhone devices. Apple has been facing intense criticism over deliberately slowing down older models of iPhones to save battery life and to push clients into buying new phones. The group also represents plaintiffs in a civil damage suit filed earlier this month.
Now, finally from you, Tunisia has recently been hit by anti-austerity protests since the Arab Spring. Now, the IMF says the government needs to do more to protect the poor. Tell us about that story.
Well, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, says austerity is not the answer for Tunisia, as anger over government measures have led to violent protests and arrests of several hundred people in recent weeks. The IMF has urged the government to implement socially balanced reforms that would help reduce unemployment and price hikes. Take a listen.
We recognise, of course, the frustration of the Tunisian people whose economic aspirations remain unfulfilled. They want growth and fairness. The government wants growth and fairness. The IMF certainly wants growth and fairness. I think we all want that. And economic reform is clearly the way to get there.
Okay, well, that wraps up business for this hour. Thank you very much, Yuka.